Thank you for this moment, actually. September 2024. The Alpine F1 team announced it will stop developing its own Formula One power unit. So it means that in France, we will still develop the Ariane rockets, the Rafale jet, the TGV or nuclear power plant, but we will no longer take part on our own soil in the greatest human and technological competition in the world. They spent 50 years at the highest level and inventing the turbocharger for road cars. The French engine will no longer be on the grid from the 2026 season onwards. For sure, pure economic logic can justify such a decision. But would it have been the same if our power unit was the best in the world today? Probably not, and this responsibility is ours, actually. For sure, there are as many reasons as people involved: structural, technical, organizational, even societal. But one key issue stands out, and that's how we managed risk emotionally in research and development. So, I would like to introduce you my very personal analysis of this industrial failure. But to do that, I need you to put you in the shoes of a technical director of a Formula One power unit manufacturer. So first, I will explain you a bit more how Formula One industry works, otherwise you might feel a bit lost in this situation. So, the Formula One World Championship is the pinnacle of motorsports. The 20 best drivers in the planet race together or against each other during 23 Grand Prix races all around the world, with the 10 fastest cars powered by 4 different power unit manufacturers: Mercedes, Ferrari, Honda, and Alpine, or Renault. So, as a technical director, you will be the boss of an R&D center with about 600 people, experts, working flat out to improve our power unit, which already developed something like 1,000 horsepower at an efficiency rate of 50% compared to standard road cars that usually be run at something like 25%. To do this, we follow the classic V model of development. It means that first we set the spec using modeling, system modeling, CFD or structural analysis. Then we design the parts, we produce them, we build the engine and the system, we test those power unit systems at the benches, and we iterate until those systems are validated and can be run on the race car, on track. So to do this, you have an annual budget of 150 million euros that's set by the regulation to produce a power unit that costs over 1 million euros each to produce. Don't forget that you have to be backed financially by the car manufacturer, your parent company, which sees this as a marketing investment. Then the Fédération Internationale de l'Automobile, the FIA, set the rules, the technical regulation. We change it every 12 years, more or less. It reshuffles the deck and enables us to start from a blank page again. The current regulation started in 2014, and the next one will start in 2026. All right, so now you are ready. You can be a technical director, actually. Congrats, because usually it takes over 25 years of experience, but this time I guess it's going to be okay. So, let's get back to the 2014 season. That's the first season of the current hybrid power unit era, with the super complex electrical motor on the turbo compressor. So the previous 4 years, your power unit won 4 times the World Championship powering Red Bull. So normally, your guys know what they are doing, actually. But this time, the technical shift has been underestimated. and the power unit is not good at all. It is nowhere as good as the Mercedes. Worse, it's unreliable and often breaks down on track. But you are in the charge now. You've got the guys, the tools, the facilities, the infrastructure. So what do? Option A, keep your calm, stay focused, and continue to improve your simulation to test measurement process because you believe that one day it will pay off. Or option B, patch everything with duct tape and hope it holds. The answer is pretty obvious. Option B, unfortunately. Duct tape, patch all over the place. Because if you don't do that, the job that you have had for 2 minutes as a technical director won't last much longer. Why? Because the car manufacturer that put the budget on this project don't want to see its cars at the back of the grid. It means that the only target is just make it work right now. Urgency takes over rational development. You go through the backlog while the pressure slowly poisons the team. Then let's move a bit forward in the time. We are now in the 2019 season. So apparently you are still there, so congrats. The duct tape, patch everywhere, has held up. And now you have a power unit which is more or less reliable. That's already something. But as you can guess, the other manufacturer didn't wait for you, and you still have quite a big lake of performance. So you go to see your guys and ask them how they think they can significantly improve the power unit. One of those come to you and said, well, mate, it's been like 5 years of struggle. You pushed me so hard back then. I don't want to go through that again, so maybe we should keep it easy with any changes. Okay? Then another guy has come to you and said, well, apparently that's pretty tricky to work with the other guys right now, as you can see. So I think I can do some slight improvement on my home subsystem, but that's all. Okay? So what do you think right now? But the offer is just tinkering, isn't it? This is not like that we are going to catch up. So what do you have to do? What you have to do is to align everybody and move together forward in the right direction where the best value is to be found. But what does it mean actually? The right direction, the right value, the good value. Where is that? Should your engine be lighter, smaller, or more powerful? Probably a bit of everything, isn't it? But what if you can't have it all? What's the goal actually? In Formula One, that's pretty simple. It's just about making fast cars. So you will organize all your development, all your R&D around one single metric, which is called the lap time or the simulated lap time. Thanks to this, you can evaluate before doing a development how much it works actually. First. Then your power unit is no longer a pile of separate subsystems with the battery, the electrical motor, the engine, the turbo compressor, etc. But it becomes a complex system. And you can ask to everybody to make trade-offs on their own subsystem for the global progress. For example, when you used to think that making an electrical motor lighter is always a good thing, then you realize that making it lighter means using less copper winding, increasing its internal resistance, decreasing its efficiency, increasing its heat rejection, increasing the size of the radiators in the side pod, increasing the drag of the car, you end up with a slower car. So what you thought was a local improvement becomes a global disadvantage. But thanks to this metric, you can synthesize all your development and go in the right direction, making the global optimization possible. And then, maybe more important, even more important, you can also prioritize where you have to put your resources based on the value evaluation of your development items. Well, then there is one last thing to master if you want to succeed, and that's risk management. So, let me paint the picture for you like if you were in race strategy. Let's get back to Brazil Grand Prix 2024. The race started on a dry track, but now it's raining. It's even pouring. While all the cars stopped in the pit lane to switch to wet tire, the two Alpine remained on track. They are slower now, but they are waiting for something. Then, on the wet track, a Williams crashed. That's the red flag. Everybody has to stop in the pit lane. There we can switch to wet tire, but keeping our track position, and at the end we will secure a double podium, which is the best result we can hope for, or almost the best result we can hope for there. What we managed to do this time were taking risks. Because when you are halfway through the race, at the back or in the midfield, slower than the others, or at least slower than the leaders, are you going to take the same strategies as them, pitting at the same time, for example? Well, for sure, no. Because if you do that, you'll stay behind, 100% sure. So, what you have to do is to find an alternative strategy and try for something different, hoping for different results. So you can extend your stint waiting for a safety car, you can wait under the rain or try a different tire combination. In your role of technical director, what you have to do about taking risk, it means that you have to invest on long-term developments. Those developments that won't pay off now, but later. I mean investing on improving your simulation process, your test measurement process, your production process. Because you deeply believe that one day, those investments will enable you to move forward, to move faster than the others. And the question becomes, are there still breakthrough concepts to be found? What could have been Renault turbochargers in the 70s? Brown GP, the ball diffuser, Mercedes interconnected suspension, McLaren F-duct, or Red Bull blown diffuser. Let me tell you something, there are still so much stuff to find, and that's actually the reason why I do or I did this job. An example, all right, I can even give you one. Let's start with a bit of racing science. If you have some energy to put on the track, if you want to go faster, it's better to put it at the beginning of the straight instead of at the end of the straight. That's pretty clear, because if you put it at the end of the straight, this energy will be dissipated in the braking. Then, the power of the engine is mainly limited by the fuel flow rate set by the regulation. Then imagine you can separate the the volatile and high energy density fraction of the fuel from the heavier one, playing on the saturated vapor pressure differential at the refueling. Then all you have to do is to inject those good fuel at the beginning of the straight. There you will gain something like 60 kilowatts. You will be 1 second faster compared to the baseline annual development of 0.2 seconds. You will be 5 years ahead. But to do this, you have to question everything. That's all or nothing. Well, what do you think right now? What he is telling us is that they had the solution, but they didn't try it. Actually, not really, because this idea came too late. It came in the early phases of the new regulatory cycle, pre-project. And the question becomes, why did it came too late? The answer is that the scars from the failure of the 2014 sequence were still fresh. And the fear of being responsible for a breakdown on track were much stronger than the desire to succeed. And so we ended up focusing on less risky development of continuous improvement. We bend our head down, betting on a convergence at the end of the cycle. And at the end, we succeed. As I explained before, even if we are close now, we are still at the back. But with the new regulatory cycle, we found back this audacity and this creativity, thanks to the hope, the dream, and the blank page. You know, I'm not a racing driver, but I'm still racing every day. And for me, winning the Formula One World Championship or becoming world champions means finding one of those inventions that changed the game. And what's really amazing about this process is when you are with your friend, with your teammates now, or alone, you take your pen, you read the regulation, you understand the goals, the physics, and you search, and then an idea comes. It grows up, it obsesses you, your heart races, and generally, one day, 1 week, or 1 month later, you will realize that you have made a mistake somewhere. But that's not a big deal, because for this moment, you were dreaming. And you will start again until it finally works. Those moments, you do racing. Anything that happened before or after is just waiting. Be bold, encourage boldness, that very boldness that stands up against all the dogma that will tell you there is nothing to find there. Because that desire is the essence of motorsports that unites us all around the world as one of the greatest humanity's achievements, one of the most breathtaking pulses that you can feel at the edge of the track in the roar of an engine that reminds us that we are alive, that we love taking risks, that we need them to succeed and to go forward. Thank you.